Guys, Heathway here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be covering one question that I've been asked in so many of my recent videos. Every time I log on to Twitter, literally, like whatever I do, I get questions from people asking, when should you sell your team, or when should you sell players in your club, investments, basically just when you should start selling stuff to get ready for Black Friday. And I did already do a video in a lot of detail all about Black Friday, what you guys can expect to see during the promo, what happened last year in terms of prices, and I did talk about selling your team, but despite that I get so many different questions about that, so that's why I'm bringing you guys this video today. If you want to check out the previous video, I definitely would recommend it. It's down below in the description, and I'll leave a card in the top right corner. But if you guys do enjoy this one, if you don't forget to leave a like on it. Let's try and smash 250 likes on this video. Also, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be announcing the winner of my October giveaway for 100k at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's go on into it. So right now, when I'm recording this video, it is the 2nd of November, and Black Friday is on the 25th, so you guys have still got almost a month to prepare, loads and loads of time, so there's no need to panic, and that is something pretty important. You guys don't want to start panicking and selling loads and loads of players. We've seen recently on the market, prices are dropping a lot, and there is a lot of panic in the market, but it's not time to just instantly go ahead and list up literally every card in your club. You want to be patient and gradually sell cards that you've got. Now, you guys, if you saw my last video that I did on Black Friday, you'll have seen my club, and you'll have seen a lot of the players I had, and I did have probably about 10 pages with special cards. I have sold off a lot of different investments, and basically just if I see an investment I've got in my club has gone up in price by a decent amount, I'm selling them really. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of cards that I can make a little bit of coins on. I don't want to start selling cards for a massive loss or anything, because the prices I think are going to recover for a few cards. But someone like Szczesny, for example, who I sniped for 17.5k, he was going for around about, I think, like 45k or so when he was in packs. He's now going for about 50k. That's kind of a price where I wouldn't mind selling him. So he's a card that will be got rid of over the next couple of days. Someone like Bernardo Silva, I picked him up for 42k. He's currently going for, let's see, around about, is it like 50k or so? No, a little bit less, maybe like 47, 46, anywhere around there. I'm not selling him for a loss. I don't really want to be selling cards for losses, unless maybe it's someone I bought at a really high price ages ago, for example, and has naturally dipped down. You don't really want to be doing that. So if you have any like expensive cards, like any informs like these, and you can sell them now for a little bit of profit or just about break even, I'd recommend doing so. So these types of cards there, I'll be getting rid of. These types of investments here, 83 rated informs, for example. This guy, let's see what he's currently going for. Is he actually going for 24k? 22. I mean, I'll definitely take that. I can literally double my coins on this guy right here. He's quite rare. There's hardly any of him on the market because he was in the first team of the week. That is one of my last team of the week 1 investments, but we're going to quickly list them up there. Cards like this, I mean, there's no point keeping someone like this up until Black Friday because his price won't really change too much, and I can take the profit now. So if you guys have any of your team of the week investments like that in your club, just sell them. Now, this video is probably going to be quite long because I'm literally just going to go through my club and look at player prices and let you guys know the types of players I would personally recommend selling. Now, someone like Traore right here, he's going for about 18k, so that's another card I would definitely sell on there. We've got Stark, who I actually currently use in my side, but I got him for about 15k, and he's now going for about 24. So he's a player that I will sell after this weekend league. As soon as it's finished, I'll sell him on because he's a player I'm using this weekend. But I want to get rid of then, because I think when we're going to start seeing the market properly crashing is probably going to be anywhere between maybe the 8th and the 15th of November. Last year, the market seemed to be at its lowest around about the 8th because we had so much panic, and this year it's probably going to be pretty similar. So it's going to be kind of like 2 weeks before Black Friday. I think that's when we're going to see a really big dip in prices. So that's when I want to be fully kind of liquidated and ready to go. But I still have around a week or so to prepare for that. So there's no need to really panic with your cards. You don't want to start panicking. That is the most important thing. But you do want to go into the promo by having as many coins as possible. Now, if I've got a card like this, I mean, he hasn't really gone out much. He's probably like 14k or so. I wouldn't really bother selling him now. Just keep him in your club because he's not really going to like drop down much, and he will gradually rise up over time. I've got Fraser, who I'm keeping for a really, really long time. I literally picked up like 15 of him in the first team of the week, and I sold all of them. I'm keeping one of them just for ages because I think he can go up loads because he's quite a rare card. Let's just check someone like Wesley. I've got a lot of these kind of quite irrelevant informs who haven't really gone up much. They're like 14, 15k. Wesley's one of them. So these types of cards here I'll probably keep for another week or so. So Tatarasanu, Wesley, just give them a little bit more time to rise, and then I will sell them on. If it's someone who's literally not gone up at all, most of these cards have, but if there's someone who's maybe gone up like 2k or so, I'll just keep them in my club. But look at this, Nakajima, there's literally just 4 pages of him on the market. He's a very rare card already. Just because not many people really like kept this guy, they just quick sold him because he was discard price at the time. But he's risen up, so a card like that, someone I'd sell. Lala's like 13k or so he's not a player I'd sell. I mean, you guys can see there's more expensive ones here, but he does go for about 13 or 14k, so he's not a card that I have any need to sell right now because he can't really drop down more. Wants to watch cards, Rusalka right here. I'd recommend selling any wants to watch cards you have before their next play. That's the safest thing to do. I mean, you could hold them a bit longer and they might score a goal or something in the future and their price might go up, but the safest way to prepare is just to make sure that you sell these cards, I'd say like the day before they play or the day they play, and it's very, very safe like that. So Rusalka is a player who I could sell now for like 22k or so. He'll probably be maybe 25, 26k before he plays. So that little increase in price, I can maximise the coins I'm getting on him, and having picked him up for 18k, that'll be some good profit. So cards like this I'd recommend selling before they play. All these informs here are pretty much discard price and don't really go for much now, so I'm just going to keep those. Someone like Mitrovic, any Premier League informs or like Premier League Player of the Month investments, I'd recommend selling them around about Thursday. I think that's a good time. Thursday evening, because we're going to have obviously Division Rival Awards, Foot Champion Awards, lots of coins on the market, so people are buying cards, player prices go up. That's something we've seen over the past few weeks. But also on Friday we're going to have the Player of the Month SBC, so there'll be a lot of hype around it. So if you've got any Premier League Player of the Month investments, I'd recommend selling them next Thursday around 8 PM UK time. Wants to watch there, I'm going to be keeping him until he plays and then sell him shortly before. All these informs down here, pretty irrelevant cards that haven't really gone up much, so I'm just keeping these for the long term. They're not really going to drop down, so you're fine keeping cards like this. Duffy's one I'll be selling next Thursday, a very safe investment for Premier League Player of the Month. Someone like Jovic there, any of my Bundesliga informs, I will wait for the Bundesliga Player of the Month kind of shortlist to be announced, which should be quite soon, and then I'll sell those in the hype beforehand as well. All these different cards down here, I mean, you guys can see lots of these cards are just basically discard price that I've picked up, and this guy's he's going for like 17k and I got him for 9.5, a really easy investment there. That's the type of card that I'll sell on right now, so I can just sell him quickly for like 17k and make some coins back. All these types of players, that's what I'll do with them, just because if they've gone up a good amount and I'm happy with the profit I'm making, like I might as well just sell them and take the coins and just have as many coins as possible really going into Black Friday. This guy's like 13k, so no point selling him. This guy's gone up loads and I picked up like 5 of him. He's a card I told you guys to invest in, and he's going for like 17k or so. I think right now, yeah, 17k is the lowest by now. Actually about 16, so I can list this card here for 17. I'll just keep relisting him and hopefully he'll sell to a lazy buyer and make me really nice profit there, about 7k, and I have about 5 of him on my transfer list that I will also be selling on. We've got some of these cards here, the Ultimate Screams. I picked these up, I got just a couple of them for almost discard price, and these are the types of cards I just keep in my club. There's no need to sell them now because they go for like 11, 12k. I'm just keeping them maybe for like Footmas or something when we have an SBC that might require Ultimate Scream cards. These kind of ones here, again, they're pretty irrelevant. You guys can now see, looking at my club here, I don't really have any high-end big players. That's because gold cards have been dropping in price recently, and I would recommend selling them as soon as possible. So you guys have someone like Pogba, Kante, Messi, Ronaldo, like any kind of big popular gold card really, make sure you sell them pretty soon. I mean, these cards are dropping. I got Benatia last week for 20k. I got him at his lowest point. I think it was when Ultimate Scream just started, so a lot of people were opening packs. And he's managed to kind of maintain his price. He dipped down a fair amount. Like last week he was down to like 17k because of the panic selling. So I'd recommend just waiting a little bit. If you've got like these type of gold cards here, you don't want to panic with them, and I think we have missed a lot of the panic selling now. We're into a phase where a lot of people who were going to panic have already panicked and sold their cards, and most people are keeping them a little bit. So the market's quite stable. So I reckon with a card like Benatia, I mean, a good time to sell is probably like right now when I'm recording this video, or also tomorrow morning, so that's going to be on the 3rd, because Foot Champions, people are going to be building their teams, and those big gold players are the types of cards people are using in Foot Champions, so they're ideal types of cards to sell because there's going to be a big demand for them. These cards are going up and down a lot, and they're the cards that I think will be most affected during Black Friday, during the pre-crash, which is typically about 2 weeks before Black Friday. So players like these, I'd recommend trying to get rid of like either today, tomorrow, over the weekend really. Just get rid of these cards quite soon, because following the weekend league they'll drop down as people sell them. it's going to be one of the last weekend leagues where people are going to be using big teams before selling them completely for Black Friday. So if you guys have like a really good team, I'd recommend selling it after this weekend league, then rocking with like a 100k team maybe or something, or a 50k team, depending on your budget, just going with the cheaper side. So you can still compete and maybe get like gold 3 or something, so you still get decent rewards. That's what I'm going to be doing myself, using a primarily untradeable team with a few players I've picked up. But I'll show you guys my team and like what I've done with my club later on. But someone like Benatia, he's someone I'll probably be selling. I mean, I might as well just sell him now, really. I mean, I'm not making a loss on him, so he has a shadow camera still too, so I list him for 21k, and we might be able to sell him for that. All these types of cards here, you guys can see the majority of high-rated cards in my club are SBC investments. They're just like 84s, 83s. If you guys have any cards like this, just keep them in your club, because they're probably going to be required for some maybe like guaranteed team of the week SBCs or something we see during Black Friday, so are quite good. If you've got someone like Goretzka, a card that is relatively low rated but has quite a good amount of value, so you've got like Martial, Gabriel Jesus, anyone like that, try and sell them again as soon as possible before people start selling their weekend league teams, because they're the cards that get the most affected by Black Friday, because they get packed loads and their prices just get destroyed. So these are the types of cards again that you don't want to sell pretty fast, because their prices are dropping down. He was like 8k last week, he's now going for about 4.5k, so he's definitely a card you want to sell. Same with someone like Coman, for example, all those types of players there. Personally, I use Goretzka in my weekend league side, so I'll be keeping him and then selling him after I finish playing the weekend league. I mean, it's not going to be a big loss. I could sell him now for the coins, but I mean, I might as well use him in the weekend league. Rabiot as well is a super sub I use in the weekend league too. All these types of cards though, like the 82s and the quite irrelevant cards like these, I mean, these cards won't be affected much. They're already very cheap. I'm just keeping because they're going to be hopefully good for SBCs. Zaha I use as a sub in the weekend league. He's actually a really good player. I mean, those stats there are pretty much all off the bench as an attacking midfielder, which are quite good there. But he's currently like a lot less than what I paid for him. These are the types of cards again that will drop down lots. He's like 1.5k now. He was 5k last week. He's going to be discard price during Black Friday and the crash before the crash. So I'd recommend probably selling Zaha to as soon as possible. Any types of cards like that, Gnabry, Herrera, these cards that still have a good amount of value or like a decent amount of value that go for a few thousand coins. Fred's another example. Any cards like that, sell them as soon as possible. Any kind of irrelevant cards, like let's say someone like Pedro Leon, I'd recommend just selling when there's an SBC that might require them. So you can keep cards like this, but keep an eye on like the marquee matchups and any type of SBCs we have, and you'll see occasionally these cards go up. And that's what I've been doing. I've gradually been selling a lot of just random gold cards in my club when I see they have value. You'll see when I look at fullbacks, for example, in a moment, I don't have many fullbacks in my club. That's because I sold a lot of them when we had a Halloween SBC a few days ago, and lots of fullbacks went up a lot in price. So these types of irrelevant gold cards here that no one really uses and are pretty much discard price now, you can sell them right now and get like a small amount of coins back from them, and that's completely fine. Or you can just wait until you have an SBC that might require them, but I mean, you might as well just get rid of them. You might as well get rid of cards like this. Like, they don't really go for much now. They're not really going to go for. They're not going to go for less during Black Friday because they can't really go for any less. So you can just get rid of them now. I mean, I didn't really have enough space on my transfer list to get rid of like all these types of cards here, so that's why I was just gradually selling them when we had SBCs. The issue is now we're probably not going to have any SBCs until Black Friday, or any big SBCs that will require these types of cards, like flash SBCs or anything, which is what we had during Halloween. So I think you've probably missed the boat for selling these types of cards here for more than what they sell for now. Just get rid of cards like this, like any kind of irrelevant cards that people aren't really going to use. Get rid of them, have the coins to go into Black Friday with. If you've got any Champions League cards, try and sell them as soon as possible, because Tuesday or Wednesday we're going to have more SBCs that hand these out, probably as tradable cards, and that means that their prices are going to drop down. I think it's Tuesday actually. It might be the Tuesday after that. Actually, it should be the Tuesday after that when the Champions League comes back. And if that's the case, that's going to be like full on during the crash. So again, you don't want to have them there. So make sure you sell these cards pretty soon. I've already got rid of all but Vought, I believe. Maybe I've got some lower rated ones, but I use Vought in my weekend league team. But apart from that, I've got rid of the likes of Herrera, Gnabry, so many investments. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen loads of the cards I'm selling on. That's why, like, I've fully liquidated so many informs. Like, I used to have so many more, and you guys will have seen if you follow me on Twitter, I'm selling loads of them, making lots of profit from them, and just maximizing the amount of coins I have in my club. I've also got all these kind of cards here, which are quite irrelevant. I don't really need at all. They don't really sell for anything, so you can just discard all these types of cards. I personally keep them just because I do videos on SBCs, and I already have 1.2 million coins, so I'm not in like massive need for these types of cards, and it's always useful for me to do SBCs quickly for videos, so that's why personally I have a lot of these cards in my club right here, if that does make sense. But if you guys just have these types of random players, there's no need for them. You can quick sell them and just maximize your coins going to Black Friday. Farman, I currently use in my weekend league side. He's 6'6" and really good. I was originally using his non-rare, but yeah, I've upgraded to that one right there. He's 6'6", so he's really good despite being a non-rare. All these non-rares here, check the price on Footbin, because lots of them go for like randomly 1 or 2, even 3,000-4,000 coins in some cases. So always worth checking the prices of non-rare cards. Just liquidate your club, get rid of all these ones. These are the cards here that they're kind of like low priority when it comes to selling on cards. You're mainly looking at selling like your informs and your high-end cards, because these ones don't get affected too much in price. But once you've got rid of those cards, you can focus on just clearing out your club, because look how many pages of these random cards I have. These are the types of cards you can just quick sell, you can get rid of very, very easily, and get yourself like an extra 100k back or something just from these cards very, very easily. There's so many of them. And you will also have silver cards, which we'll probably get to quite soon. Yeah, we've got silver cards, Silver League SBC investments. If it's for a league that's already come out, I'd recommend selling them. Apart from the Serie A, which literally just came out today, I'd wait maybe like 3 or 4 days and then sell some of your Serie A investments. Typically you see the price be quite low initially, then it rises up in the first few days, peaks, and then starts gradually dropping down. So sell maybe about 3-4 days after release for the Serie A. If you've still got any Liga investments, I'd recommend selling them. And if you've got like La Liga or any other leagues like that, maybe Premier League, all those types of investments there, keep hold of them in your club, because their prices won't be affected too much during Black Friday. So that's silver's covered, that's gold. Now let's quickly take a look at a few other things. So we've got my transfer list. I want to quickly show you guys that and what we've currently got in it. As you guys can see, we've sold on some of these cards, so we're near 1.3 million now. I'm selling loads of informs that I had on my transfer list as duplicates. I'm just listing them up for quite high prices, hoping to sell them to lazy buyers. I'm in not too much rush to sell them. We've got these types of cards here that are just listed. I'm going to be like properly listing these cards. They're just at a really high price on the off chance someone buys them, and they sometimes do, but I'll put them at like prices people will actually pay for them around Thursday. So that's when I'll be looking to sell these cards. But all these types of player set I'm just getting rid of, really trying to make some coins on. These ones to watches I'll be selling before their next play. We've got more inform investments, or rather investments for inform SBCs. I can't talk, but these investments here are kind of like for guaranteed team of the week SBCs and stuff. They're mainly like cards that I already have in my club. I try and get loads of 83s, 84s, 82s, and then if I pack any duplicates, I just send them over to my transfer list rather than selling them. I've got lots of SBC investments down here as well. I've started to sell these types of cards, but I mean, we've got someone like this guy who's been extinct for ages. I'm hoping his price cap goes up, but I've got 2 of him. I sold a few for 10k earlier on, like about a week or so ago. Got cards like this, which I've got a few of. Actually, a Serie A investment. What's he going for now? Like 5k. He'll hopefully got more to like maybe 10k. I reckon he could go to soon. So I have a few of him. I've got lots of Serie A investments, various ones in my club. Let's quickly see, are these cards going for a lot? Yeah, he's like 6k, got him for 1.5. I've got loads and loads of different SBC investments that I will be selling on over the next couple of days, so I'll be keeping an eye out on those. I want to quickly show you guys my team as well, just so you guys kind of have a rough idea of what to be running with. Now this team, as you guys can see, the only tradable cards in it are Mendy, who's like 4k, Goretzka, who's about 5k, Fred, who's about 2k, Phil Foden for chemistry, because in game what I do is I sub Depay in there, and then I play 4-2-3-1 and have him at cam, these wingers out wide, Lewandowski up front, these two at CDM. So we rock it like that. What I'm actually going to do in the weekend league is probably bring Hazard in and play him as a striker, and then I'm going to like bring Rabiot in and play him as a CDM. So again, I'm just kind of going with untradable cards there. The only tradables I've got are pretty cheap, so not too bad. I've got these guys here, which are all kind of like Like Stark I got for 14k, I can sell for profit. I'm just going to sell him after the weekend league. Vought likewise, Farman likewise. So I'm not using like any big high-end players. I've sold any expensive cards I had in my club, and then during Black Friday is when I'm going to buy like the big players I want. So I want to quickly show you guys in my concept squads Black Friday. These are the cards that I want to buy during Black Friday. If you guys have like a super team that you want to build, Black Friday is the time to do it. So I'd recommend just getting ready, like selling cards, and then making sure that going into Black Friday, you guys have the coins to be able to afford these types of players, because they're going to drop down. Any big name popular cards like Pogba, Kante, like Ronaldo, Messi, Suarez, literally like anyone like that, Alexandro, all the kind of meta players that people use. Varane's another one, Ramos, like I could go on naming them for ages. They're the types of cards you want to buy during Black Friday, because they're going to be cheap and their prices won't really get that low for like the next month or two, so it's a very good time to buy them. You can either just use them in your team or you can sell them in the future for profit. But these cards here I'm buying just for my actual squad. I'll be using them, getting them at a really low price, and then I'll be able to, if I do come sell the team, make profit on them. So De Gea, I mean right now what's he going for? About 160k. I reckon he could go to maybe 130 during the pre-crash. Pogba, he's going for like 460, 450, hoping to get him for about 400. Boateng, I think he's like 70k, looking to get him for about 50. These are the types of prices you can expect cards to drop down by, like about 15-20% overall on average. I think Fabinho's about 70k, hoping to get him for about 50, maybe 55. Alaba's about 60, hoping to get him for about 45. I want to get his inform card for under 100 if I can, which should be quite easy. If I can get him like 90 to 100k, that would be ideal. His price is dropping by the day. He was 130k literally just a few days ago. And then Valencia, get him maybe like 12, 15k, something like that. So they're the types of cards I'm looking at for my own team. But if you guys have like a really good team you want to build, then it's going to be good to buy it during Black Friday. That's ideal. That's ideally when you want to be picking up like any big players. So make sure that you've just cleared out your club. So all the types of cards I've gone through and let you guys know about. The high priority ones you want to sell are your big gold cards, like the cards that are going to drop down the most. Sell them. Ideally like over the weekend, before the weekend league finishes really, because when it does, they're going to drop down as a lot of people start panic selling them. Informs and special cards, go through your club. If they go for a decent amount, like if you're making profit on them or just about breaking even, if it's like a more expensive card, sell them now just so you don't make a loss. If it's like a discard price investment that's not really risen, keep hold of them in your club. If it's a card like Mendy, Goretzka, Fred, these types of cards that are quite low rated but still have value, sell them again as soon as possible, unless you're using them in your weekend league side. As they are quite cheap, you can afford to use them in a weekend league team, because I would recommend running with like a cheaper team, maybe like 100k or so, or even cheaper. Like this team, I know it's a really expensive team, like with the players it's got, like Lewandowski and people, but in terms of actual value, like the coins I've spent on this team, it's like a 50k team, so I'm not really like losing out much, because all these like big players are untradables anyway. So I'm not using like 500-600k worth of players in the squad. They're not going to drop down much in price, so I can afford to do that. So sell those types of players, and then gradually get rid of your cards that don't have much value, the golds, the untradables, not the untradables, rather the non-rare golds, I mean, the Silver League SBC investments, all those types of cards. They're kind of your lower priority cards to get rid of, just because they're not really going to drop down much, because they can't drop down much more. But hopefully this video has answered a lot of your questions. Now, there's probably going to be so many questions down below, like when do I sell Ronaldo, when do I sell such and such, but I mean, you guys should hopefully understand from this, like if it's a big name player, Ronaldo for example, sell them as soon as possible, because they're going to drop down after the weekend league team, well after the weekend league's finished rather, and like after that they're just gradually going to drop as the panic builds up for Black Friday. But as I said, I expect the main crash to be around the 8th to the 15th, some point within that time there. If you guys want to be more exact, then follow me on Twitter, there's a link down below, and I'll tweet out like when I start buying my team, when I think player prices are at their lowest, and all that good stuff there. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I now need to eventually do the announcement for the winner of the 100k from October. I know not all of you will see this bit, so I'll make sure I put it on Twitter as well. The winner is Hyperfix for his comment on my Team of the Week 6 investment video. You guys can see the comment on screen right now, and yeah, I checked through. He's liked the video, he subscribed, he commented on it as well, saying something about my Twitter, I think. I'm not sure you guys will have seen the comment on screen. And yeah, he's a fan. He's liked and commented on various other videos and all that good stuff there. So he's the winner for October. I'll be starting a new giveaway for November pretty soon. If you do see this video and you are the person who won, if you are Hyperfix, then hit me up down below in the comment section. If you've got Twitter, I can contact you there. That's a lot easier. So try and get back to me there, and then I can contact you on Twitter to sort it out. I'll put a tweet out, but I'm not sure if you follows me on Twitter, which makes it harder. But I'll make sure I announce it in more videos in future, just in case he doesn't see this bit of the video. But anyway, hopefully that does make sense. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you later. Take care.